Richard Langston wasn't just a billionaire. He was the billionaire, founder and CEO of Langston Dynamics, the tech conglomerate that powered half of Silicon Valley. Smart cities, AI, defense systems, international infrastructure. He had jets, islands, a private boardroom that smelled like Italian leather and silent power. But what he didn't have was patience. On a rainy Thursday morning, Richard stood inside a crystal tower in downtown Manhattan, adjusting his tie as his assistant read off the day's agenda. At 10 a.m., the delegation from Al-Bashir Group arrives. "Stop," he snapped. "That's all I care about today." The Al-Bashir Group controlled trillions in sovereign wealth: oil, ports, water, tech. And today they were here to sign a $5.4 billion contract to build a Middle Eastern smart city, powered by Langston's technology. It was the deal of the decade. And it had to go smoothly. The only problem, "Sir," his assistant whispered, pale, "there's a complication." "What kind of complication?" "Mr. Singh, your translator, he's stuck in Dubai. Flight grounded." "What?" Langston's voice boomed through the penthouse floor. Staff froze. Secretaries shrank. A junior VP ducked behind a ficus. "We need that contract signed today. I don't speak Arabic. The Saudis barely speak English. Get me a backup." "We tried. No one qualified is available within the hour." Langston's eye twitched. "If this deal dies because of a translator—" He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't have to. At 9:58 a.m., the elevator chimed. Out stepped Prince Nabil al-Saif, the head of the delegation. Flowing white robes, gold cufflinks, eyes like polished obsidian. Beside him, 3 executives, 1 security guard, and a briefcase containing a contract that could change global markets. Langston forced a smile. "Welcome, Your Highness. Please, let's sit." They entered the boardroom. 20 chairs, glass walls, a view of the skyline like something from a Bond film. Coffee was served, documents were exchanged. Then, silence. Prince Nabil glanced at his interpreter chair. Empty. He looked at Langston. "Mr. Langston, no Tarjaman." Langston cleared his throat. "Our translator had a delay. Just temporary." Nabil nodded slowly, then closed his folder. "No translator, no deal." Langston stood. "We don't need a translator. We have Google AI, closed captioning, facial sentiment recognition." The room tensed. "We speak contracts, not emotions," Nabil said flatly. "Then you'll forgive me for speaking bluntly," Langston replied. "We've invested 2 years and $50 million preparing this partnership. We will not insult our language," the prince interrupted, "or our time." The prince rose. Langston froze. His empire was seconds from collapse. His face flushed red. He turned and shouted into the hallway. "I don't care who it is. I need someone who speaks Arabic. Now!" There was silence. Then a voice. Soft, female. From the far end of the hallway, standing with a mop in her hand and a bucket by her feet. "I can." Heads turned. It was the janitor. A black woman in her late 50s, wearing gray coveralls and sneakers that had seen too many floors. Langston blinked. "Excuse me?" She stepped forward. "I said, I can translate." The boardroom laughed. Nabil's advisors smiled politely. Langston looked like he'd seen a ghost. "You mop floors. You don't speak Arabic." She looked him in the eye and began to recite. وَإِذَا حُيِّيتُمْ بِتَحِيَّةٍ فَحَيُّوا بِأَحْسَنَ مِنْهَا. The room went still. Prince Nabil raised his eyebrows. She continued, "It is from the Quran. It means, when you are greeted with a greeting, respond with one better." Langston's mouth opened, then closed. The prince leaned forward. "Ma ismuki, ya ukhti?" "What is your name, sister?" She answered without pause. "Ismi Amina wa sharaftu bimukabalatik." "My name is Amina. It's an honor to meet you." And just like that, the deal was back on. Langston stood paralyzed as Amina took the interpreter chair and began translating flawlessly, moving between English and Arabic like a dancer in two worlds. She didn't fumble, didn't pause. And when one of the Saudi executives made a snide comment in Arabic, she translated it exactly as it was said, unfiltered. The prince chuckled. Langston swallowed hard. An hour later, the contract was signed. Hands were shaken. The prince stood and turned to Amina. "You are a hidden diamond," she bowed her head. "You honor me." As they left, Langston finally found his voice. Where did you learn Arabic?" She wiped her hands on a cloth. "Cairo, University of Al-Azhar, class of '88. I have a degree in Islamic studies and comparative linguistics." "But you're a janitor." "That's what the badge says. Doesn't mean that's who I am." And with that, she pushed her mop bucket down the hallway and disappeared into the service elevator. Langston stood in silence, staring at the empty interpreter chair.
Richard Langston didn't sleep that night. He kept replaying the scene over and over. The mop, the quote from the Quran, the way Prince Nabil had looked at her, not him, when the contract was signed. He asked his assistant to pull Amina's file. It was thin, too thin. "How long has she worked here?" "2 years, sir. Third-party janitorial contract. Overnight shifts." "Background check?" "Minimal. She's listed as having attended community college, no criminal record, never late. And yet she speaks Arabic better than the diplomat who interviewed me in Qatar." He opened the building security log. 5 minutes later, his hands were shaking. Every morning at 5:47 a.m., Amina would clock out. Then sit in the staff lounge and read. Not a magazine. Academic journals. Sometimes in Arabic. Sometimes in French. Once, Sanskrit. He started digging further. An old university archive from Egypt. Her photo. A young woman in a graduation gown, top of her class. A published thesis, Language, Power, and the Politics of Translation. He leaned back in his chair and said the only thing a man like him hated to admit. "I underestimated her." A week passed, then 2. Prince Nabil's office sent a formal letter. They requested that Amina serve as the official liaison for all future contracts between Langston Dynamics and Al-Bashir Group. Langston read it 3 times. "They want the janitor?" "They want her, sir," his assistant said. "But she's not even on payroll. She works for Clean Zone." "They included that too. They'll only move forward if she's made executive cultural director." Langston laughed out loud, until he realized they were serious. He scheduled a meeting, privately. She arrived in her usual gray jumpsuit, calm, quiet. She sat across from him like she owned the building. He cleared his throat. "Amina, I think we got off on the wrong foot. I'd like to make you a formal offer. Full-time, executive title, high 6 figures, company car, whatever you want." She didn't smile, didn't blink. "Why now?" "You saved the deal." "No," she said. "I saved you from your own arrogance." He tried to object, but she leaned in. You saw a uniform and assumed you knew my value. But that's the thing about people who clean up your messes. We're used to being invisible. Until we're not. Langston felt like he was shrinking in his chair. I didn't mean to insult, but you did. Every day. She stood. I'll take the position, but I'm setting the terms. Terms? Every janitor, clerk, cafeteria worker, and receptionist in this building gets access to education benefits, mental health support, and internal job mobility. No more invisible talent under your nose. Langston opened his mouth, then nodded. Deal. 2 months later, Amina B. Carter had her own office. Floor 42, plaque on the door. Executive Director of Culture, Language, and Equity. She oversaw every international meeting, every contract. But she also walked the halls, said hello to every cleaner, cook, and intern by name. And on Fridays, she still mopped one floor, by choice. When a reporter asked her why, she smiled. Because power isn't about walking away from who you were. It's about never forgetting it. Prince Nabil later told Forbes, America sent me its richest man, but I only trusted the woman who spoke my language and not just Arabic. Respect. Thank you for watching. If you want to get more that kind of stories, press like and check out our channel.